Hello. The wintry weather brought more problems today with widespread school closures and reports that some petrol stations are running short of fuel as drivers stock up.
Essex is still worst hit by the big freeze. Today, 500 schools were closed. In Suffolk, the overnight temperature went down to -9 degrees, making it treacherous for drivers. But we start in Norfolk, where drivers are being told not to panic buy fuel. Here's our chief reporter, Kim Riley.
Yes, we've had a number of reports of queues at petrol stations. I'm on the A11. Now, this petrol station gets its supplies from Corriton down in Essex, and because of the road conditions down there, the tankers haven't been getting through. Now, this morning, they ran out of diesel here, but this afternoon, in fact, just a few minutes ago, they popped those on. They've run out of unleaded too. Supermarket petrol stations have been among those affected. This one at Swaffham in Norfolk had unleaded available this afternoon, but it had run out of diesel and didn't know when the next delivery was coming. This BP station normally gets replenished every 36 hours.
There's quite a lot of petrol stations are in exactly the same situation at the moment. The stocks are very, very short, but several of us have already been told that we are promised to have a delivery tomorrow, and with the weather looking a little bit better, we're hoping things will get back to normal very, very quickly.
Great Beelings in Suffolk, picturesque but deadly, compacted snow turning country roads into ice rinks. With operations at the port of Felixstowe crippled by the deep freeze, dozens of lorries are held up in Operation Stack.
I set off on a journey from here at 3 o'clock yesterday morning, got back at 6 o'clock last night to be told I can't go in the docks until I'm told I can. And I've been sat here ever since.
Essex once again topped the league of closed schools. 500 stayed shut today, along with over 50 in Suffolk and around 20 in Norfolk. The chairman of Essex County Council visited the county's gritting crews this afternoon.
Our gritters have been out regularly throughout the night, and we have got Essex's roads back operating properly. We have salted and gritted the precautionary network, and I think that is great stuff. And I wanted to come and thank the gritted drivers personally for all that they're doing in quite difficult conditions.
On the trains, National Express says it's aiming to run as full a service as possible this evening. There would be cancellations and some trains would be shorter than normal. The bungalow in Benfleet, where an elderly woman died yesterday. Firefighters wearing breathing apparatus carried the woman outside, but she was pronounced dead later. And in Norfolk, a woman believed to be in her 60s died in a fire at Ickborough near Thetford. Fire's not being treated as suspicious. A file has been passed to the coroner. In the past fortnight, 2 elderly sisters were killed in a blaze at Holme Hale near Swaffham. Their cottage said to have been piled high with papers.
It's another absolute tragedy. I mean, we've had 3 fire deaths in less than 2 weeks, and they're all older people. In the last 4 years, all of the accidental dwelling fires in Norfolk and the fire deaths in those have been older people. The fire service says it's happy to provide free smoke detectors and carry out home risk fire checks for the elderly and vulnerable. Yes, they do say that just simple advice, straightforward advice and working smoke detectors can save the lives of elderly people who, of course, are struggling to stay warm in the cold. As far as fuel supplies are concerned, they're expecting a delivery tomorrow morning here, and there's no need to panic buy. They do say, the Petrol Retailers Association, that if the weather breaks a little, everything's going to very, very quickly get back to normal.
Kim, thank you very much.
So where is all this cold weather coming from? Alex is here to tell us.
Susie, thank you. Well, there's actually a couple of reasons for it. We've now had a full week of predominantly northeasterly winds, so that's brought in air from very cold sources such as the Arctic and Scandinavia. But also, believe it or not, high pressure has been responsible. That's had the effect of blocking low-pressure weather systems that typically bring in milder air from the Atlantic. So we've stayed really cold. It has weakened slightly, and it's allowed a weather system to head in our direction. But that's only going to mean that daytime temperatures will be around 2 degrees Celsius by day at the weekend rather than sub-zero. I'll be back with a full weather forecast for you later.
Thanks, Alex. Student protests over tuition fees took a fresh twist today when Cambridge undergraduates targeted the university's bosses. The students blockaded the university's administrative hub, preventing managers from getting to their offices. The students have promised no let-up in their campaign against rising fees.
After a week-long sit-in, they decided to try something different. Upset at what they see as the university's lack of support, they told me desperate times deserve desperate measures. 7 this morning and around 70 students split into 3 groups blockading the old schools building, the nerve centre of the university. It accommodates around 100 senior academic and administrative staff, including the Vice-Chancellor. This morning, they wouldn't make it into work. A tactic intended to disrupt and gain attention, it worked. Not everyone agreed it was the best way to draw attention to their concerns.
We are actually fighting against management in solidarity with workers who are also being exploited by it.
After 5 hours in the cold, an unexpected change of direction.
At the stroke of 12 o'clock, the students behind me decided to stop phase 1 of the programme. That's blockading the old schoolhouse behind us. They've done that to beat the police enforcing a warrant to remove them. They've said they're doing things on their own terms. That's the way it's going to continue to be. That's phase 1. We don't yet know what phase 2 is going to be, but we'll find that out later this afternoon.
We're really happy with what we saw today, a peaceful protest that made the point that the university should not be betraying its students, it should not be ignoring its students and academics who are fundamentally opposed to the fees and cuts to higher education.
At around 4 this afternoon, protesters entered the Guildhall on a flash occupation lasting 45 minutes. The Liberal Democrat-controlled council building, a strategic choice to deliver their message to the coalition. Meanwhile, the final decision on the last day of term to continue their occupation of the old schools building indefinitely.
I've got it here.
Joseph Hall, BBC Look East, Cambridge.